Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TeacherCast App Spotlight. You are listening to the podcast that brings you the best in educational technology right from the app developers themselves. I am thrilled today that you have decided to make TeacherCast your home for professional development. My name is Jeff Bradbury, and if this is the first time you are listening to the show, thank you so much for joining us today. We have a great show for you. You can, of course, contact us and participate in the show each and every week by leaving us a voicemail at teachercast.net/voicemail, emailing us at info@teachercast.net, and, of course, subscribing to us by audio and video over at teachercast.net/iTunes and teachercast.net/YouTube. And, of course, we love it when you follow us on Twitter. My guests today come from a fantastic company called Flocabulary, an educational resource that has managed to mix learning with hip-hop music to infuse a new style of lesson plans into classrooms worldwide. They've created a massive online library of videos, songs, activities, gadgets, and so much more for grade levels K through 12, and I'm so thrilled to have them on the show today. I want to bring on from Flocabulary, Miss Aliza Aufrichtig. Aliza, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm doing very well. I'm really excited to be here on the show, so thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Now, I met Flocabulary a couple years ago at the ISTE conference, and I was floored by how many people were coming over and learning how to infuse hip-hop with their classrooms. Talk to us a little bit about Flocabulary.
Sure. So Flocabulary is a company that at its core is really focused on student engagement. We believe that learning should be completely and absolutely fun for students to do that. People are going to school, they should enjoy doing it. And so the way that we aim to reach students is via educational hip-hop videos and supporting materials, with the goal of getting them really psyched about whatever subject we are teaching, whether that is social studies or math or current events or vocabulary, and then allowing them to go from there.
And what makes hip-hop the best option for kids?
Well, the simple answer is that that's what kids are listening to, and it's what they like. Kids all over the country love hip-hop music. Hip-hop music has, in many ways, become the pop music of our era, and so if kids were listening to jazz everywhere, we'd do jazz. But for now, because kids are listening to hip-hop, we want to meet kids where they're at.
Now, you guys have a wide library featuring topics that really go across the Common Core. What are some of the topics that we can find when we go to flocabulary.com?
Sure. Would you like me to show you?
I'd love to.
And this is flocabulary.com right here. When you're logged into the webpage, this is your homepage, and it immediately gives you a clear view of all of the different subjects we offer. We offer 6 key subjects here. We have a vocabulary program that teaches Tier 2 words using direct vocabulary instruction. It's been shown that vocabulary education directly impacts literacy, and that's something we're really focused on. We have language arts videos, which are aligned to the Common Core language arts standards, as well as math, which is also Common Core aligned. And then we have subject area videos for social studies and science. The science songs are aligned to the new Next Generation Science Standards, and the social studies songs were written by looking at various state curricula and sort of determining, okay, what is the best way that most of the states teach these things? Okay, so those are and then finally we have the Week in Wrap, which is our weekly current events video. Every single Friday we come out with a video that covers the top news stories from the week, and we put it into a short wrap video. So would you like to take a look at what the experience is like?
Sure, I'd love to. What can a teacher expect when they come here? Is this something that they have to sign up for? Is this something that is more geared for classroom teachers to sign up for? Is this more of an experience that a school district would want to have an account on?
Yeah, so the answer is all of the above. Teachers can come to the website and sign up for an account. We have a free trial that any teacher can try out for 2 weeks. We're also, until the end of April, have a 90-day free trial so that entire schools can all try it together. And so in terms of who's using Flocabulary, we're used by tens of thousands of teachers in their classrooms who've chosen to purchase this for themselves. We're also in about 1,500 schools who have purchased this for every teacher, as well as a number of districts too.
Nice. You know, it seems like you guys have an awful lot of stuff and some great content out there. Would you be able to take us through some of the ways that a teacher can search, maybe through their subject or through their specific Common Core standard?
Yeah, absolutely. We have about 500 videos, and those are useless if teachers can't actually find what they need. So there are a number of different ways that teachers can find it. The most simple way is just by drilling into one of the subjects. If you know that you want to teach math and then you want to teach addition and subtraction, you're going to find that here. Let's you want to search for something more specific. You want to teach the order of operations. You're working on PEMDAS. You could just type in here, order of operations, and it's show up here right at the top along with some other things. And you'll also see in the search results here whether some are aligned, which actually brings me to what I think is one of our sort of coolest ways of finding content. If you go into About and then Common Core Alignment, you can search by the Common Core standard for ELA or math that you're teaching. So if you are teaching 5th grade ELA, and you are, let's say that you know that you are hitting a certain standard 1 week, you want to be able to demonstrate understanding of figurative language, here's a whole list of units that you can go to that are going to help you meet that standard. And then if you find that you really like that video, you can add it to your favorites. So every time you go to our homepage, you'll see it right there as well. And then the final way to find things rather than by subject is just related thematically to the time of year. A lot of teachers do units related to holidays that are happening in any given month. So if you wanted to see what are some activities that are particularly pertinent to April, you could go here and see our Shakespeare videos or things for Earth Day or songs to support test-taking vocabulary. So there's just a lot of different ways that teachers can find what they need.
And who actually makes the Flocabulary raps? Do you guys do that yourself? Are you guys having fun in your office, or where do you actually get the content from?
Sure. Well, we do have a lot of fun in our office, but we work with a team of rappers and educators to create these videos. We oversee all of the production in-house and do a lot of it in-house. But let's say we're working. Just to give you an example of our process, I'll go to one that I worked on myself. So let's say that we want to make a video about verbs. So what we're doing in-house is we are taking a look at what are the standards that are used when people are teaching verbs. What does the Common Core say? We're interviewing teachers and asking them how do they typically teach verbs? What is the best way to do it? Then we are taking all of those notes, and this is sort of where Flocabulary is different, and giving them to a rapper. We're saying, here's some notes on verbs. Now create a rap using all of this information, and we're reviewing that. And we do some of the recording here in Brooklyn. We also work with some rappers down in Atlanta. And then once we have the audio track, we work with a team of animators, some of them in-house, some of them freelancers, to create our videos.
Nice. And I see that you guys are, again, completely Common Core aligned here. Talk to us a little bit about the handouts that you have there for teachers.
Sure. So in terms of our Common Core alignment, the videos very much reach a lot of the listening standards across the board, as well as specific content Common Core requirements. And then our worksheets additionally give students further practice. So here's one to click on, for example. This is one that's just giving students practice with ways that they might see questions asked on standardized tests. And other activities that we have are promoting more writing. Let me actually give you an example of the activity for our Week in Rap video that came out this very morning. So as I mentioned earlier, our current events video comes out every Friday. So today that we're recording this is April 18th. And this very morning, this article contains things that happened this week, ranging from the lunar eclipse with the blood moon to what's going on in the Ukraine to new SATs. And so teachers can show that video, and then afterwards that we have an activity which promotes writing, asking students to think about their thinking and sort of use those critical thinking skills that the Common Core really promotes.
That's amazing that you guys can do that on a weekly basis with all the current events. That's really cool.
Yeah, would you like to see an example of a little bit of this one?
I think we would.
Great, okay, I'll play that.
I want to give a shout out to Scott County Middle School in Georgetown, Kentucky. Yeah! Here we go, we're off and running. The news is on the move, so our engine's humming. Montana is about to lose a really cool resident. The Wankel T-Rex is moving to the Smithsonian in D.C., where he'll be for 5 decades, so hundreds of millions can see the display. Did you check out the moon on Tuesday? It was cool. If you did, you probably stayed up too late, or else you woke up early so you would not miss the blood moon and a total lunar eclipse. And speaking of the sky, if you look up high, you just may see a drone fly by. Take a closer look. Is that a Google logo? They bought a whole fleet to take satellite photos and bring more people internet access. Moving on, a story that brings much sadness. A gunman opened fire in Kansas and claimed lives. It appears to be a racist hate crime. The suspect was a member of the KKK. He yelled Heil Hitler when they took him away. Things in Ukraine haven't changed much. They may have gotten worse. Last word we heard was pro-Russian groups might be taking things far. They may have seized a few of the armored cars and turned up in town with the Russian flag flying. We hope this doesn't mean there will be more fighting. In India, a landmark ruling was delivered. It says people have the right to choose their gender, which brings equality to about 2 million people living there as transgendered citizens. Up next, metamorphosis for the SAT. That'll go live in the spring of 2016. Big words will get cut.
Can you be specific?
The news has word nerds. Pugilistic. A girl on Twitter sent a prank threat, and it's definitely something that she regrets. She told American Airlines that she was a terrorist. Now the FBI's involved. Not at all hilarious. It's been 1 year, but let's give thought to the Boston Marathon and the lives that were lost, to the victims and those who survived when bombs exploded at the finish line. It's the weekend wrap, and we're done. That's it. Peace.
So that was a great video there. It certainly is interesting that it's topical, and it certainly is out there keeping kids' attention. What kind of feedback are you getting from teachers and students across the country?
With the weekend wrap specifically, we hear over and over again this phrase, students are begging to see this every Friday. You know, we hear teachers tell us that if they don't show it on Friday morning, students are saying, where is it? We need the weekend wrap. And I think that the way that we're getting students so almost addicted to this video is making them aware of what's going on in the real world. We hear from teachers that students are actually following these news stories throughout the week so that they're prepared and they're guessing come Friday, hey, what is the weekend wrap going to cover? And they want to be hip to what's happening in the news so that they can accurately predict what will be in the video. So it's really, really cool. And in addition to the video, we do give teachers a number of resources for students to learn more about these stories. So for example, when you click on the lyrics, we have these info boxes that pop out right here, and you can read a paragraph with more information about what is happening in that story, and then you can also click on a link that will take you to an actual news story that, like, often in the New York Times or another, good news source, so that they can practice their literacy skills with reading. And then, as I showed you before, we have the activities and printable lyrics so that students can go further and really practice writing and critical thinking skills.
Now, I got to ask, is this a platform that works as well on a desktop machine than it does on an iPad or a tablet device?
Sure. So the most typical way that teachers use Flocabulary.com right now is front of classroom. They're frequently projecting it for the class, and they're doing it together. But it does work on iPads. It does work on other mobile devices. It's not a specific app, but you can watch these videos and you can interact with these clickable lyrics on those devices as well.
So it seems like you guys have a complete package here. I also noticed that on top you have this button called Challenge Questions and then Fill in the Blanks. What is that all about?
Sure. So right after teachers show the video, a popular way that they use this is they're going to test students' knowledge to see if they're paying attention, just a really, really quick formative assessment. So if you click on Challenge Questions, you say, okay, what state lost a really cool resident? That's something that we referenced in the lyrics. You click on Next, and you get Montana. Teachers will often have a little contest in class where they'll divide students in half, see which teams can shout out the answers first. And then additionally, we have Fill in the Blanks. This, you can listen to it without seeing the video, and then as you go through it, have students fill in keywords. So the Wankel T-Rex is moving to the Smithsonian. That's a keyword that students might want to know. So sometimes for some of our videos, if teachers are showing it more than once on the second or the third viewing, they'll use this as another form of assessment for students. And they can print off these fill-in-the-blank lyrics here to allow students to write it in if they're using paper in their class.
Aliza, it really does seem like Flocabulary is that one tool that teachers, no matter what grade level and subject, can really use to infuse current events and some amazing learning into their classrooms. What does a teacher or what does anybody need to do if they want to get connected with you guys? Maybe even to submit some songs or submit some topics. How do we get a hold of you?
Sure. You can come to our website and send us an email. We get requests from teachers all the time and often make specific videos and activities as a result of direct teacher feedback. For example, we heard a lot from teachers that they wanted more Edgar Allan Poe literature songs, and so we created more of those. Our entire Common Core Aligned middle school math sequence, we didn't have that for a time, and we kept hearing from teachers, we love what you did with math for elementary school, we want this in middle school, we want this in middle school, and so we created it. Actually, one of our favorite requests came in. We have about 20 units for modern world history, and we received this packet of letters from students in one school. I think it was 40 or 50 letters, and it was all of these students handwriting us notes saying, we really liked your ancient world history, but now we need to know stuff for the modern world. What can you do for us? And, in addition to a few other things that influenced that decision, just seeing a packet of papers from students asking us to create something was really powerful. So, you can email us. You don't have to handwrite it, but when you handwrite it, we really love it here in the office.
That's really cool that you're open for student suggestions, and I'm sure students out there have a lot of suggestions. One of the places that I know you guys are very active on is Twitter. Where can we find you on your social channels?
Sure. We have Flocabulary as the main name, so at Flocabulary on Twitter, facebook.com/Flocabulary, and you can find links to those things if you just go to www.flocabulary.com.
Nice. And certainly want to recommend you guys check out Flocabulary. There are a ton of information out there and some really, really great raps out there for you in your classroom. Of course, if you are able to sign up for that 90-day free trial, it is certainly going to be well worth it. One more thing I want to ask you before we let you go. What is, in your opinion, your favoriteest, most popular, if we were going to go to Flocabulary today, sign up for that 90-day free trial, what is the one rap that we really got to check out first?
Sure. One of our most popular videos is the language arts video, 5 Things. It teaches the 5 elements of a story, and that's something that's relevant whether you are in kindergarten and just really dealing with stories for the first time or reading more advanced literature in high school. So we can show that to you at the end of the show.
Absolutely. So check out the ending of this app spotlight here, and we will certainly have that attached to it. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you haven't checked out Flocabulary, I can't urge you enough. Go to Flocabulary.com, check it out, sign up for their 90-day free trial, follow them on Twitter at Flocabulary. There is so much stuff going on there. New content coming out each week aligned to the Common Core standards. What is the future for Flocabulary?
Yeah, I mean, we want to have every single student in this country know that Flocabulary is the most fun way to learn. We go and we talk to people and you say conjunction, junction, and everyone says, what's your function? Schoolhouse Rock, from the older days. And so we want every student to feel that we're as synonymous with exciting learning as that.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for spending time today, and of course, continued successes in the future.
Thank you. Thanks. It was great to be here.
Well, my friends, that wraps up another episode of the TeacherCast App Spotlight. I want to thank again our friends from Flocabulary.com for coming on the show and sharing their great educational resources with us today. There's, of course, many ways that you can connect with TeacherCast each and every week. We love it when you follow us on Twitter at TeacherCast. Email us at info@teachercast.net, and of course you can find this and all of our other great shows over at teachercast.net/iTunes and teachercast.net/YouTube. My name is Jeff Bradbury. Please join us next time for another great episode of TeacherCast Educational Broadcasting. Don't forget you can catch us live Sunday nights at 7 o'clock for the Tech Educator Podcast and again at 9:30 for the Principal Cast Podcast. I'll be back then, and until that time, keep up the great work in your classroom and continue sharing your passions with your students.
Check it out, yo. Yeah. Setting, that's like where it's going down. Could be the train compartment, a castle, or a town. Could be the Arctic winter like to build a fire. The temperature's dropping, excitement's getting higher. Setting sets the scene so the scene seems set. Could be an Italian restaurant where we met. Setting gives us the where and the when. Could be modern day, the future, or way back when. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. Plot is the action, the quest for satisfaction. What's going down, what's going to happen? 4 men at sea in an open boat, rowing and hoping that they can stay afloat. The plot, they had to make it to the beach, but the waves are big and the shore seems out of reach. Plot is a series of events like Lemony Snicket. It could be crazy, wild, or straight wicked. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. Knock, knock. Oh, it's the characters, the people in the story who carry out the action. Characters can be pretty tiny or clean. Characters can be silly, whiny, or mean. Juliet is a character and so is Romeo. Pokemon has characters and so does Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters can be dogs, lions, or hippos. J.K. Rowling chose Harry Potter. Who knows? Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. Put your snack back in your backpack, we're not finished. Something going wrong. That's a conflict, kids. A struggle in the plot. Now who's on top? Could be a fight for money like some robbers and cops. Could be an internal conflict, a struggle inside. Like I don't wanna tell the truth, but I don't ever wanna lie. Flick something in your eye, now you're conflicted. What created drama? The conflict did. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. The theme of the story is the main idea, the central belief or the topic that's in there. It's usually something abstract like sacrifice, isolation, and resurrection. We back to life like don't lie, don't practice libel. The theme of To Build a Fire is survival. Survivor on your own like 5-0. Flocabulary, something that you have to get. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting. Plot, character, conflict, setting. Yes, these are the 5 things that you're gonna be needing when you're reading or writing a short story that's mad exciting.